Alright, this is an FSD 12.5.1 video. I'll fast forward through anything that doesn't really need explaining and slow down and try and discuss the parts that I find interesting. Right here, it's a left turn, and it's waiting for this pedestrian. It's clear, it's going to go, and for the next little while here, it's just kind of all fast forward. This whole drive was about an hour long. During it, zero interventions. Nothing came up that the car couldn't handle, which I think was pretty great. I think 12.5 probably could have done it, but 12.5.1 just feels a lot smoother with everything it's doing. So you'll notice that in a lot of places that it's using braking. I find it's kind of now only using regenerative braking. I found a lot of issues before where it would slam on the brakes or use the brakes when I felt like it shouldn't have, and now 9 out of 10 times when it slows down, it's all regenerative braking. Anytime that it's not is when it seems to be a somewhat unexpected stop, which is really nice because it adds to the kind of overall ride comfort for sure. The vision-based monitoring also is really nice. Basically, as long as you're supervising the drive, you aren't going to have an issue at all with any nags. Anything that pops up will get dismissed as long as you're looking out towards the road, and it's still very easy to use the screen to change the music or map, whatever. And pretty much the whole time that I use FSD, I'm always on the chill profile. I find assertive and standard sometimes to be a bit too aggressive just with how close it'll follow, so chill is 9 out of 10 times what I've set it to. And the cut in the video here is just because my GoPro died, so my apologies. I think I have it fixed. It shouldn't happen again, but there wasn't any interventions the whole time I was driving. But here you'll see I'm on a very thin bridge. It's kind of notorious for being terrible. If you look off to the right, you'll see they're building a new one because it's actually being replaced. So I was impressed the car was able to do this all without any issue. Coming up here, though, it does make a mistake. It should be one lane over to the left. You can even see in the route planner it knows that it doesn't want to be in the far right lane. It wants to take the 2 left lanes. Instead it hugs the right, which is kind of unfortunate because now we're going to end up taking a route we don't want to. We want to be off on the left there. It goes right. I appreciate that it committed to the decision it made rather than try to correct it, because it would have been bad if it just stopped there in traffic. Only issue here is this area is quite busy, so you're going to see it's going to go around the block here. And I was actually assuming I was going to have to take over here because this left turn, I wouldn't even have taken it. I would have gone right, but FSD waits it out and makes a left turn when I'm not expecting it to. Like, it's impressive. There's traffic still coming on the other lane. It goes, and you can see there's a truck on the left. There's vehicles on the right. Felt really good though, and honestly was something I personally wouldn't have done. I would have gone around, but it was safe. It was totally fine that it did it. It was just, as a human driver, I usually just take the easier turn. And then coming up here, it ends up working out, but traffic can back up on the right here, even as far back as where we are right now. So this is almost a kilometer back, 600 meters. I just wish that it would move over into the turning lane sooner, because otherwise you end up going ahead in traffic, and then it has to cut in and doesn't always work out. Like, if people are polite, it's fine, but lots of times you don't get let in and it becomes an issue. Another really nice fix in the 12.5.1 was that kind of brake tapping that it would do when it was stopped. It would come on and off the brake while it was at red lights like this, and just like nudge up like an inch, and it's stopped, and that really helped because that was a weird one. So again, like, as trivial as this all is, like, this is traffic that I drive in every day, and like I said, this was an hour drive. So although nothing complex is happening here, the fact that very smooth and very comfortable the car is doing this, it's kind of crazy. Like, this is a huge game changer for people that have to commute a lot. And coming up here, we're gonna drop elevation in a hurry. It's a steep hill, very windy. You can even see in a second here, there'll be the water down below. That's where we're about to be. So right coming up here. So yeah, down there is how far we're about to drop in a pretty short period of time. Steep, windy road, and the whole time I feel comfortable with the car driving. Like it takes the corners great. It's a good speed. Speed limit is 30, but it's very reasonable to go 40 here. And then this car is going to back into the driveway unexpectedly, so FSD kind of has to pump on the brakes, but it was great. Didn't feel aggressive at all the way it did it. So we sit here, we wait for them to back into the driveway. It does try to go a little bit early and then hesitate, like it could just go here, but I think it waited for her to completely be in her driveway, which is fine. And you can see on some of these turns, like the wheel is just going to be fully cranked over. Like these are tight, windy, steep roads, and at no point did I feel uncomfortable with FSD driving. Like this was a great experience. And I think if anybody was sitting in the back seat, they wouldn't know that it's a car driving itself. Like right here, if you watch, this is a tight corner, and that wheel is cranked right over, no issues at all. And yeah, so the rest of my drive is kind of uneventful. Like coming up here, I'm actually about to get to my client, but I'm a little bit early, so I disengaged just because I want to stop at McDonald's and grab something to eat. But otherwise, a zero intervention drive, an hour's worth of driving on FSD 12.5.1.